for this perfect place. And really, there is no perfect place. You know, there are pros and cons to any site you could possibly find. What's important is you get clear about your context, how you make decisions, what you're trying to achieve and why, but also get clear about the site-specific criteria you're looking for if you're looking to buy a property. We came here with about 50 clear goals that we were looking for in a property. And we looked at other properties around Sweden, but there was only one that we didn't meet when we bought this place, and that was to be a certain distance from the sea. And we were okay with that because we have a lake about 500 meters away and it's got a beach, so we were okay with that. Other reason is I've seen people fail and get disgruntled with this lifestyle is not committing 100%. I think if you want to make a
Picking the right property. I have a great book. Hold on one second.
I think we might have talked about this before, about picking the right property. At least, didn't like in the last episode, didn't we talk about? I think I might have waxed on a bit about what I think is good for picking property.
Yeah, we did, and that made me dig out an old book that I wanted to share with everybody. This was written in like 1974.
Yeah, I think I had that book a long time ago.
This book. There's a lot of great information on what you should be looking for in your soils, and I mean, there's the legal stuff. Very cool book for 1974. I don't know if they did another edition. I should look that up. But anyway, yeah, I think a lot of people limit themselves on the property they've gotten, or just stick with a crap property because when they bought the property, they were in it just for the view, and now they want to do permaculture stuff.
You know, it was a couple of months ago. I came to a realization, like my path to permaculture, my path to what I have now, is probably very, very similar to what most people are, and that is that you're on an urban lot and you have the capacity to grow a garden. So you grow a garden that's a shitty garden, and then you read up, and then you grow a better garden, and then you're starting to really groove on gardening. And it's like, next thing you know, when somebody says, "What's your deal? Who are you?" You say, "I'm a gardener. I love to garden." And then you run out of space. You know, that lot is just too small. You've got so much more that you want to grow, but you just can't squeeze anything more in there. So you buy a bigger lot that gets more sun and has better soil. And, you know, and then next thing you know, you're out of space again. It's like, yeah. I want to grow 25 different species or different varieties of apple, and I want to grow a bunch of different peaches and apricots, and I want to grow nut trees, and I want to grow, and I need space. And so then you end up buying real acres. And so then, of course, the way everything works, the way that you pull it off is very different from gardening. You thought you could just garden more. And it's like, no, now it's different. You can't make that much compost, dude. Just not going to happen. And so it's like, and then of course, exactly the thing you're saying is, and the exact same thing is finding that perfect piece of land. And it's like, I read that book and I had my criteria, and there were certain things about, because I ended up on Mount Spokane, and it's kind of like, I ended up like, I did a bunch of amazing permaculture stuff on this piece of land, but when the opportunity presented itself for me to bail, I bailed.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, the culture there is like very, like my neighbors, the neighborhood, and even like the county, it was rare to find anybody who had interests that were even similar. And just to find organic stuff was almost impossible. And then it's like the local farmers market had 6 people in it, not like in Missoula where it's 8,000 people.
Yeah.
It's like, and so everything was just kind of spooky, and it was harder work. and the soil was not very. The soil had problems. So
Well,
as
not only
much
that,
as I tried looking into all the things and getting the perfect piece of property, it ended up being not so perfect.
yeah. Well, as you were like you were saying, you make your garden and then you want to build more so you get a bigger piece. It's kind of cool to start from scratch, especially when you've done it a little bit and you get into design and you're thinking about all the different things you would have done differently or what you want to try. Now you don't have enough land to try it. It's really feeling to start from scratch because you're getting a blank sheet of paper, basically. So that's a lot of fun. The only holdup I see with some people is that they feel like they put so much work into it, they don't want to do it again. But I don't think that's very common. I think what's more common is people are excited to start from scratch and do it again.